Good morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Comic Talk. This is a show where I talk with top indie creators about whatever the heck I thought up in the middle of the week. And today we have some returning guests. So before we get started, we always introduce ourselves. So Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, hear that? We're the top. Just me and Joseph and we're the top. Nobody else. Yeah, Josh with Cutthroat Comics and Publishing out of Ohio. I like to say we're Ohio's most offbeat publisher since 2015. We've got something for everybody and some things for nobody.
Nice. All right, so Joseph, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Joseph Duras. I'm the writer and creator, publisher at Heresy Studios. We make mostly horror comics and some superhero comics.
Cool. So we are going to start today. Actually, these are all topics we've covered because I realized at a certain point doing this show every week, I can't do brand new topics every week, despite the fact I've done hundreds. So these ones we've done, but these guests haven't done them. So they're new to them. And we're going to start. Oh, here comes Devin. Good morning, Devin.
How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
What's up, dude?
So we were just doing introductions, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Devin R. Scott, the editor-in-chief of Summit Comics. I also have two series, Noir and Trench.
Oh, no. Did everybody freeze?
I think just Devin.
Everybody froze but me.
Oh.
No, I'm not frozen.
No?
Yeah, he looks like he's frozen to me.
Yeah, okay, well, oh, there you are. Sorry, it froze.
Oh, there it is. Nope. There we are.
Having some audio issues, so I was trying to mess with them. So hopefully everybody can hear me just fine. Hopefully
we can hear you now. Yeah, it's all good. Yes, audio issues seem StreamYard is weird with that, and it happened to me on my Wednesday show when I was interviewing someone. So yeah, sorry about StreamYard, and it doesn't like doing audio sometimes, but yeah. So we're gonna start today. Our first topic of the day is what is the best video game franchise? So we're looking at, okay, any franchise from any system, arcade, you name it. What is, in your opinion, the best video game franchise out there? So Josh, what do you think?
Well, yeah. I think A Link to the Past is the best video game of all time. That being said, I've not really played any of the other Zelda games other than that one, so that's weird. My favorites are Far Cry, Halo, the first three, Black Ops, the first like two, and then Fable, which actually they're making a new one, should be out like later this year. So I'm actually going to buy a new Xbox just to get that game. So
oh wow, so that's saying something. If you're willing to buy a whole console just to get the game, then that's something. So, all right, so they're saying EverQuest in the chat. So we'll see what ends up winning. So what do you think, Devin? What's the best video game franchise?
So I'm a big fan of the God of War franchise, like hands down, one of my favorite franchises out there as far as, hack and slash games before it kind of changed narratively, but like the story is great, the action and all the moments are great. A couple other contenders like the first three Gears of War games, solid games, loved them. Actually want to go get the remaster so my son can enjoy it too.
Okay.
Also agree with the first three Halo games, phenomenal. I don't think I really enjoyed much that came after those. I loved Reach. I liked ODST when they were out. I played those. Best fighting game franchise though, Tekken. I love all those games. They're hilarious. They're fun. You could just jump into it. I used to play that game with my parents. So that's how fun it was for me as far as franchises go.
Okay. Yeah, Tekken's so much fun, and I don't think it gets enough love because you think of Street Fighter, you think of Mortal Kombat, you think of the Capcom fighting games, and Tekken was so good. I think it was the PS2. I mean, I camped out in line to get that thing, and the first game I bought was Tekken. So it's like, that's underrated great series. So
I'm
yeah,
horrible at fighting games. I suck so bad at those. I like them, but I'm horrible. But yeah, Tekken's fantastic.
I'm a button masher. I don't learn the moves. I sometimes mistakenly do the moves. And when I beat people, they get really pissed off because they're like, "You just fucking button mashed, you asshole."
Yep.
It's just like
that's how I feel, honestly.
But you know what? There's something to be said about button mashing and just having fun and mistakenly doing one of the big moves. Like, oh hell yeah, I just did that, and I'm gonna pretend it was on purpose. So
exactly.
Yeah, because my kids are way better and they know the moves, and if I beat them, they get really pissed off, especially in like Smash Bros. Because there's all this art to Smash Bros. And I'm just like clanging around, and they're just like, "You're not supposed to win, Dad. That is not right. You can't just win button mashing." I'm like, guess you can. You know all the moves. What good did they do you right now? So, what do you think, Joseph? What is your favorite video game franchise?
I like single player horror games, so I'm gonna go with Silent Hill. I have not. I'm a bad fan. I have not played the most recent one, but all the other ones, just amazing games. I feel like, you know, if there's a game in which you can't see what's going on in the screen and you have a fear of dying at any time, that's the kind of game for me. So
yeah,
Dead Space. That's another one.
Mine goes kind of similar to that. I love the Resident Evil franchise.
Yes.
I think they're always solid games. Like even at their worst, they're playable and fun, and at their best, they're insanely creepy. I know I just beat, I think it was 7, and I know there's a VR version of that. I'm like, that might be too much to handle trying to play that game in VR. So there's a new one coming out. Those are ones I always go and buy them right on the day they're released. But I think, you know, even though it's been around forever and, you know, everyone loves it, the Mario franchise is always solid. I mean, you get a new Mario game, it may not blow your mind, but it's always going to be fun. It's always going to be, it's kind of simple. The gameplay is always the same. Not beating it isn't always simple, but the gameplay is going to be the same, and you're always going to have a good time. And those are the ones that I played when we had the Wii. Those are the ones I played with my daughters before, you know, they discovered Resident Evil and Silent Hill. And one of my daughters can't do the horror games, but the other one will sit there and do that. And they kind of brought me into the FNAF universe and all that stuff as well. So I'm with Joseph. I love a good horror game. I'm always here for those. But yeah, those are, I've never played a Halo game because I don't have Xbox. So that's, everyone's telling me that they're amazing. So one day I got to get an Xbox, but do I need another console in my house? That's the big question.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, yes, of course I do. That's an easy answer, but what can my wife agree that I need another console in the house? There's the bigger question.
Just say it's, you know, a special treat for yourself for working so hard, and you know you'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do after school tutoring and all that stuff. So it's like, this is going to be bought with tutoring money. It's my treat. So
you could just get divorced.
I'm gonna pass on that one.
Yeah, you folded the laundry, get a special treat, and a new Xbox.
There you go. I think if I folded the laundry, she'd let me get an Xbox. So there you go. The solution's been there all along.
Yeah, there you go. My dad said it took him 75 years to learn how to fold laundry correctly.
And he's not there.
And he's only 81, so he hasn't been doing it very long, I guess.
Yeah, I still haven't learned. I hit 51, and I'm still not good at it. I know how to hang clothes. I can do that, but every time I fold this shit, my wife's like, "What the hell is this? Looks like a 10-year-old did it." I said, "You know that? I guess that's my laundry age is 10."
Yeah.
All right. So our next topic we're going to move into is we talked a few weeks ago about what are the best sequels out there, but now we're delving into a different direction, and we're going to talk about what are the worst sequels of movies. If you want to do television shows like spin-offs, things like that, you can technically consider that a sequel, but what are some terrible sequels out there? So Josh, what's a sequel that's terrible?
I thought we were sticking to video games. So
you can tell about a video game sequel that sucks too. That's all good. Any sequel. I said sequel, so that means you name a sequel that sucks and we're good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with like after about Black Ops 2, all of the Call of Duties to me, like there've been okay ones, but they just have not been able to capture that magic. Um, Also, I haven't been as good as the other ones as I was at those because I was a monster at Black Ops 1 and 2. And I also was like in a clan, and we would like smoke teams like 75-3. Like it was unreal. Since then, I don't play with anybody anymore, and I get my ass kicked a little bit. But they just, I don't know, they haven't been as smooth. It seems like the lag and all that, like it just hasn't been up to par with those first couple ones.
Was 2 the first one that brought in the zombies? Because I know that was the big hack that everybody was excited about, was that, oh, you could do zombies now.
It might have been. I played it a little bit, but I didn't care much about that. I'm just first person shooters is like my jam. Like I'll take anybody. Let's go. Give me a brand new game and I'll be good at it almost immediately.
Okay, yeah. I've always sucked at those kind of games, and then my friends would kick me out of their little groups. Like we'd have an online group. They're like, dude, you can sit this one out. It's okay. So
I'm a dick. I'm a camper, and I toy with people and just play cat and mouse, and people get really mad.
I'm so inept. You would kill me too easily. You'd be like, yeah, kick that dude out. We don't need him. He's bringing down your whole team. So that's when I stuck with going back to the Resident Evil. It's just me, and I don't need to worry about sucking, because if I suck, no one's going to complain to me. So yeah, I'm not good at those. I tried. I guess I could get better, but you can't button mash your way to winning in that one. So I've skipped it. So Devin, what's your worst sequel? Game, movie, otherwise, either way.
Oh boy, this is a tough one. Well, a sequel that will always suck to me, in my opinion, was, what was it? Oh, the sequel to the Civil War comic book series, Civil War 2. Terrible book. It was like a version of Minority Report that could have been so bad that, you know, you couldn't even put it in the movie terms. You just had to stick it into a book and give it 8 issues to try to, you know, play out. Didn't work, sucked. I felt like I wasted so much money reading that, and I think that might have been the real like start of me being done with Marvel and DC books for the most part. I'm like, hey, I think this is overplayed. I'm sure I can name a movie sequel at some point, but like I'd have to think about what pissed me off. So yeah, Hush 2 sucks. All right, you got that right. Truth. I tried to read that garbage, and it's like, what's the point of having Jim Lee come out of his, you know, own personal retirement, making all that big, you know, money he's making to draw that? Why? It's delayed. I don't even think it's finished.
Oh my gosh, I started it. I think I read the first two issues in it, and I just thought, you know, I don't have that much infinite money to throw on shitty comic books. So, absolutely. And at this point, I've already kind of reached my wit's end with Marvel and DC. I mean, I'll still buy it. Like I'm enjoying the Absolute Batman series because everyone was saying you got to get it, and I thought that was fun. But in general, you're gonna have a lot more miss than hit when it comes to the big two. So yeah, Hush 2.
Most of it is all garbage. The same stuff anyway. So they just recycle it with a different, you know, bigger name attached. Ah, yes, Brian Bendis. Here, you do this, and then let's go get, I don't know, Alan Moore's great grandson to do this. His last name is Moore, right? It'll be good, right?
Put it in there, yeah. It says Moore, they'll like it.
Exactly.
And that's, I guess, because then we had like a Watchmen sequel that Alan Moore wanted nothing to do with, but they will just reboot the same things. I mean, I talk about it all the time. Hollywood has no originality. All they do is just keep remaking, rebooting, but the comic industry's not much better because there you go. Civil War 2. Ooh, Civil War was good. Let's do that. It was garbage. And yet, you know, we'll probably get a Civil War 3 because what other ideas do they have spinning around?
We're actually getting a redux of all that stuff. So like stuff in between the series. This year, I think it's going to come out like either the summer or the fall. I saw solicitations or some type of interview regarding that. I had to throw my hands up. I think I was at work when I saw it. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I need something else. But absolute stuff at DC, it is killing it. As far as I know everybody raves about Batman, but I'm a bigger fan of Martian Manhunter and Wonder Woman. Those are the series that really stuck with me. I tried with Batman. I was like, okay, I'm done. I've seen Batman.
The Wonder Woman is phenomenal, and I'm not normally a big Wonder Woman reader. My wife, it would be the one who reads Wonder Woman, and it is so good. They kind of brought this new interesting spin to things, which is what Absolute's supposed to do, because it's not doesn't have to follow the continuity of the universe. And it is, that one I think I would say is above the Batman. I haven't read the Superman, so I don't know if that's any good, but I've read the Batman, I've read the Wonder Woman, and both solid, especially when you're considering the normal level of DC output that's not very good.
Absolutely.
So Fear Itself 2. I've never seen Fear Itself 1 or 2. So
Fear Itself, I just said it was terrible yesterday to a couple friends. I'm like, don't remind me of that terrible Thor event. I bought it anyway, but
also it's a comic. Yeah, I haven't read Fear Itself 1 or 2, but I think it's just because I don't know the last time I went into a comic shop and purchased a Marvel or a DC book. I mean, I don't hit the comic shops too often, but when I do, I always ask the comic shop owner, like, all right, what's actually good? What are you just not trying to promote because you need to sell a shit ton of copies? And the one that I go to is always good. He's very honest. He's like, this sells really well. Don't buy it. This is not selling and it's amazing. So I'll walk out with a stack of books that I know are actually going to be entertaining. But it's rare. It's usually when I go do a signing, I'm like, all right, get me caught up. So I'll tell him like, okay, I'm going to be coming in for a signing this day. So just kind of build me a stack and I'll grab it all when I go in there.
There we go.
All right. So Joseph, what's your worst sequel?
I will say I got through one issue of Civil War 2. I realized early on, I was like, I can't do this. It wasn't even really totally the story. I think they didn't do the art really well either. I seem to remember like thinking I did not like the art for some reason. But anyway, I'm going to go with the movie sequel, and that is called The Return of the King. And it's not the Peter Jackson one.
The cartoon?
The cartoon is awful.
Oh, yes. Rankin Bass, I think.
Rankin Bass. The 1977 Hobbit is okay. Then there's the 1978 Lord of the Rings, which was by a different studio, which is a Ralph Bakshi cartoon, which is amazing. That is an amazing movie. And then Rankin Bass, it was like, well, we can't make a Lord of the Rings because they just made a Lord of the Rings, so we'll just make Return of the King, which isn't covered in the Lord of the Rings cartoon. And then they made it, kind of glossed over the first two books. And it was just really lifeless. The animation was awful. The elves had like little halos around their heads. It was really strange. And the weird thing was like, it was totally anticlimactic because it's told as a flashback at the beginning of the story. And everybody who survives is sitting at the table listening to Frodo. So you know that these people are not going to die.
Yeah.
And you can already see he's missing part of his finger. So it's like completely anticlimactic. It's very, it cuts out a lot of stuff. It just seems very static and boring. It may not be the worst movie ever made, but it's definitely one of the most disappointing. If you had seen the Bakshi Lord of the Rings and then saw Return of the King.
Yeah, I remember that. I've only seen it once, and it was when I was a kid, and I loved the Bakshi one, like you said. So I loved that one and was excited to finally see the ending of it because we were going to finally get that conclusion. And I remember even as a kid thinking, whoa, this is just terrible. What happened? And the animation style is very different. It goes more, kind of poor Saturday morning cartoon animation style. And it definitely falls apart. I've only seen it once. I'm not planning on revisiting it anytime soon, but it's definitely a giant letdown.
Yeah, after Lord of the Rings, where they had like all the cool rotoscoping and the orcs looked menacing and all that, and they just kind of went back to that. So
yeah, but I know that the Bakshi one, they weren't offering them any kind of a sequel to finish it, so they got like halfway through two towers. I think. I don't think they got all through the first Fellowship and then a little bit of Two Towers, and then yeah, like you said, then the Return of the King tries to fill in those gaps, but they do it poorly because it's, if anything, it's like 80 minutes. So it's insanely short to try to squeeze in a book and a half.
Yeah.
As we've seen, because like you watch the movies and they're 3+ hours each to get all those books in, and they still have to cut a lot of stuff. So yeah, that I agree on that one. And I had forgotten about it till you said it right now. So mine, I'm going with a movie too, and it's one that most people, when I mention it, they don't even know of its existence, and that is Christmas Vacation 2. It is a whole level of bad that you've never experienced. Where go on YouTube, go on Amazon, watch the trailer, and it is the most painful 3 minutes of your life. And the movie moves at this same awful pace. It's all Cousin Eddie and Catherine, and for some reason Audrey from the first Vacation. I guess she needed some cash or something. And it's barely Christmas. He's stranded on an island. It's, you know, my kids loved the Chipmunks Chipwrecked movie when they were younger. It's worse than that. And I thought nothing will ever be worse than the Chipmunks movie on the island. I was wrong. Cousin Eddie on an island makes the Chipmunks look like a masterpiece. So
when is that from?
What's that?
When was that made? It
was made in 2001, I believe. And they refused to put it in theaters, so it went direct to they aired it on TV for free because they realized they had a disaster on their hands. So they aired it on TV. It aired once, it got terrible ratings, it got terrible reviews, and then they tried, like the Star Wars Christmas special, to pretend it didn't exist. And I only discovered its existence because I was in the library and they have their, you know, their section of DVDs that you can rent for free. And it's like, Christmas Vacation 2, what? This exists? And brought it home. My kids, they didn't make it through the first 10 minutes of it. And my wife and I were like, we're going to finish this movie. We're going to battle through and finish this cinematic garbage. And holy shit, it's so bad. I mean, he gets bit by a monkey and the monkey's supposed to be smarter than him. And every joke is just nothing lands. Everything is missing, and too much Cousin Eddie is not a good thing. That's what you learn when you watch that movie. At best, give him like 5 minutes and get him off the screen. But when you get 90 straight minutes of him, oof, it feels like the Lord of the Rings extended cut length when you try to finish that thing. Yeah, we did a watching of it at Christmas time. We did a watching on Pilled, and man, I was the only one that had seen it, and oh man, it's a rough watch. So that's easily the worst sequel. I don't think anything will be worse than that, because if you like the first one, you're expecting something at least decent, and you will not get that. So yeah, there we go. There's a Christmas Vacation 2. Most people don't know, and yeah, because of streaming issues trying to share screen it on Pilled, I ended up having to buy it twice. So yes, I'm the only idiot that owns that movie twice.
Damn.
I own it on 2 streaming services. So yeah, I wish I could lend it out to people so they could just enjoy it, because oh man, I see it. I was watching something in my Fandango at home yesterday, and there it is, like, do you want to rewatch Christmas Vacation 2? So like, oh man, I paid for it. I can't just delete it, but damn, don't remind me. $10 I wish I could get back. All right. So let's get into our last topic before we talk about some campaigns that are going on. And that is, if you're going to create a soundtrack for your comic universe, what's the soundtrack going to sound like? What, bands or musicians are going to be playing the soundtrack for your comic universe? If your comics, let's say they get adapted and they're going to be the next movies, and please, Hollywood, make some of these damn indie comics into movies, because we've seen enough of the bullshit. And I think when the new Avengers fails, maybe they'll be dead for a little bit and they'll start pulling some new stuff up. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and Avengers is going to make billions upon billions and it'll be everyone's favorite movie, but I'm not optimistic. But now, if your movie's coming in and now you're going to soundtrack your universe, Josh, what's your soundtrack going to sound like?
I mean, this is a super easy question for me. So I used to make some promo videos and stuff for my comics and books. Mm-hmm. And because I was in a band, I used that music. because I own it, right?
Yeah.
So I can't get in trouble. So Until Forever on Spotify or Apple Music, you can look that up. Heavy metal, we were pretty awesome. Our last album was produced by the guys that did like all of Chimera and Walls of Jericho and Drowning Pool and all kinds of stuff. So, but other than that, I mean, probably like Pantera, System of a Down, stuff like that. Definitely that kind of stuff influences my writing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
So Rage, a good metal soundtrack. Sounds like a lot of like 90s metal bands and things like that. And
yeah, new metal, a lot of new metal and stuff like that probably.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of revisiting that because that's what one of my daughters has really gotten into, and she'll always ask me, "Dad, have you ever heard of System of a Down?" And "Dad, have you ever heard of this band or that band?" And it's just like, go to the garage, go to the CD spinner. They're right out there. So yeah, she's discovering all these bands that I've already kind of. I mean, I it's not that I won't listen to them, but I've played them out on most of the occasions. So it's funny now that she's excited about all these bands that are new to her, but
seems like it's having kind of a rebirth a little bit.
It is, because I when I pick my daughter up from high school, you'll see the System of a Down shirts and things like that. So the high schoolers are all wearing that, and it's even like Smashing Pumpkins, because that was more my wheelhouse of what I would listen to, and I see those shirts, and it's just funny seeing all these shirts of bands that they were kind of more my college and some of my high school, like the late 90s ones and early 90s ones. But yeah, it's just funny because it's the high schoolers all think they're cool, and you go to Target and there's all the shirts of these bands sitting in a Target. So yes, I'm officially old. I guess that's the takeaway from this.
Yep. All those bands are eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now. So
yep. And they get played on the classic rock station. So that's when you're like, fuck it, I'm done. It's over.
Yeah, wait till they're playing at the grocery store.
Oh, yeah. Walk into Rage Against the Machine. That would be a funny grocery store experience. So Devin, what's your soundtrack going to sound like for your comic universe?
Oh boy. At least for Summit Comics, I think I want a score from someone like Hans Zimmer. Who was it that did all the Marvel ones? Is it Danny Elfman? Has been doing a lot of that stuff.
Elfman did some. Was it Silvestri that did some? I think
because I know for a fact Danny was on the Black Panther score and the first Avengers. So I it's interesting. I like to follow a lot of producer types in music. So just watching them, and I like all those sounds, and for something like this, I think it would have to be somebody on a grand scale as far as putting a good sound to something so elegant, or there might be parts of it that might be a little rougher than others, so you compose something specifically for that. Also, to Josh's point, at least for him, he mentioned System of a Down. Reminds me, I saw them in concert one time with my wife 11 years ago. Probably one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Crazy. They played like 4 encores for that performance. Insane.
Yeah, I saw them at Joe Louis years and years and years ago up in Detroit. They played quite literally every single song from every single album. It was awesome.
Wow. Yeah,
man.
I've seen them a few times, and they never disappoint. I mean, they have such high energy music, and they bring that energy right into their set. And like you said, they play long sets, because the worst thing is you drop your money for a band, and then they give you like 70 minutes and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you know what? Give me what they do. Like, you're going to get multiple encores. You're going to get 2+ hours of music, and it's going to be like explosive the entire time, where you're going to leave exhausted. Even if you're not jumping around in the mosh pit, just absorbing all that, you walk out and you're exhausted, and the whole crowd is, and it's just, you got your money's worth and then some. So yeah, they're definitely a top band to see. So I like that you're doing like kind of the sweeping orchestral stuff, and then I think that's the best thing. You get the great orchestral stuff, and then you get those kind of that mixtape thing that you can do. Like, get some great songs to drop to needle drop throughout the soundtrack. and in the middle of that you have this great orchestral thing for those high drama moments when you don't want a needle drop song, you want that sweltering orchestral music. That's the best of both worlds. I think that's the perfect mix for a movie now.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right, so Joseph, what's your soundtrack going to sound like for your cinematic universe?
Before I answer this, you guys know the theme song to The Simpsons? It's so catchy. It's so perfect for the show. Mm-hmm. That is a Danny Elfman song.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. The same guy did Batman and Beetlejuice and all those kind of dark songs. Just like amazing, amazing breadth this guy has. But anyway, I thought about this because every time I make a Kickstarter video, I have to use music and I have to pick something that's public domain. Yeah. So not sure that I have a coherent universe in my comics, but I do have Order of Dracula, which is probably have the most comics in that. I think we have 6 comics in that universe. It takes place mostly during World War I. And I think what I've used, what I think the song that really captures what we were trying to go with is Toccata and Fugue in D minor by Sebastian Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach. It's not totally a whole soundtrack. For like a symphony, maybe Beethoven Symphony No. 5, something like that, where you sort of get sort of the horror vibe, but there's also other stuff kind of going on. I've also kind of thought about like kind of a ragtime soundtrack because it's in that era, but it seemed a little bit too lighthearted.
Yeah, so you're kind of doing the same thing, but you're needle dropping the classical music. So
yeah,
that's a cool way to do it, because honestly, to the younger generation, they're gonna feel like new songs, like, ooh, those are cool songs, and they realize, oh crap, and when they watch the end credits, if they spend the time to go through the end credits, and be like, damn, that's all just classical music, and the stuff that they played in my classroom and I ignored. So yeah, that'd be kind of cool. A full soundtrack of classic needle drops. Get people back into it, and it's all free. So he's like, all right, it's all public domain, so feel free to use it yourself.
Yeah, the other one I've used sometimes is In the Hall of the Mountain King from the Peer Gynt musical. The whole musical play of Peer Gynt has a lot of good classical music in it.
So yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that one. I'll have to check that out. And yeah, but with all the ones you named, I'm sure if I heard them, I would recognize them, but I don't know much about classical music. So yeah, that'd be kind of fun to explore, because all of them can be used on Kickstarter videos. So that's a perk for sure.
That's really how I really got into it, is because I had to find something for Kickstarter videos. And I kind of started out with like 1910s and 20s, like jazz and blues, and I did use that somewhat, but then I kind of went back to classical music eventually.
Cool. Yeah, so for me, I'm gonna go with kind of like what Devin's doing. I'm gonna do a needle drop soundtrack. I'm thinking with Immortal Era, because that one, it's kind of all creation stops in the year 2000. So there's not gonna be great new music that's gonna come out after 2000. So I would do kind of 90s bands that I love, and I think I'd want to get Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who do soundtracks for a lot of movies, have them do kind of the orchestral pieces of it, and then just do some good needle drops for bands like Godspeed You Black Emperor and Thursday, and a lot of the indie bands that I really kind of fell in love with in early 2000, because I kind of fell out of love with everything in the mainstream, and Deftones, that would be a solid one. I kind of fell out of love with mainstream music. I came back to it later, but it was boring me, so I went more into underground stuff, and that's where all my needle drops would be. So they would be the kind of needle drops that they would feel new to people because they're lesser known bands, and kind of create that discovery of between, I guess, 95 to 2000, the good indie scene that was going on at that time. So that would be my ideal. And maybe one day we'll all get lucky enough and be able to actually influence the music of our movies, because that I can already think like, all right, that'd be in my contract, like I have to be able to help with the music part of things. It's like 100%. A lot of things Like, yes, you want to get paid and all that good stuff, but I don't want to let some idiot who doesn't know what the soundtrack that's been playing in my head the entire time I've been writing this book not come out there on the screen.
I feel like you would need some Rod Stewart, Forever Young. That would have to be in
No,
yours.
they don't stay young in my world.
Yeah.
Getting super old and not dying, more like that. But yeah, throw in a needle drop of Rod Stewart. Just why not? Now we'd have to go. I think the one good thing for the studios, if they did want to do all these obscure indie bands that I like, it wouldn't cost them that much money. So they'd be like, all right, cool. We're fine with that choice because they're not going to charge us, millions of dollars to use their song.
See, I'd put my stuff in for free. That way I don't have to pay the other guys.
Perfect. And then they pay you. Like, we're using my soundtrack and you got to pay me to use it. So, and then I think about soundtrack sales, but records don't sell the same way. Although the K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack sold 1 million physical copies. And, it's like, you know what? You still can sell a lot of physical copies of albums. So all you got to do is release exclusives for a bunch of different stores and make kids want to collect the little cards. And now you sell 1 million copies. So let's get now. So we have covered our topics and now it's time to talk about campaigns. So drop your campaigns in the private chat and we will start pulling those up. And I know, Josh, you don't have any campaigns. So what would you like to promote?
KFC.
Buy chicken for the Super Bowl.
Yep. Actually, I prefer Lee's, even though they have done some shrinkflation recently. No, honestly, like we've got a bunch of stuff. I mean, we've been doing this 10 years. We got 30 plus things on the website. But what I'm working on currently is Cocaine Stripper Stronghold #3, written by me, art by Cristiano Reyna and the legendary Mike DiCarlo from DC fame. We're working on, it's a mini series. It's a 4-parter. We're working on 3, 1 and 2 are out. You can order those on cutthroatcomics.com. And then I'm about 45% done with my next novel, which is going to be called Death's Door, kind of a Groundhog Day kind of thing.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, go check out all that stuff. Like I said, we got something for everybody and some things definitely for nobody.
Perfect. All right. So I'm trying to put it in the chat, but my computer is acting up. So I will get it there eventually. All right. So let me get yours up, Joseph. Because last week I tried to promote your stuff and I don't think I did a good job.
That's okay. Neither do I. I never do a good job. So
yes, I did my best, but I'm just scrolling through your campaign and saying, okay, we got this, we got that, but I don't know what it's about. So let's get that in there. Let me pop it up. Sorry. This is the squinty part of the show because my eyesight sucks and I have to do my best to see all this. And all right, so there we go. 1 second.
Devin, are you at Monroe this year?
Yep, I just got my invoice. Want to say last weekend.
Cool. Probably be in the same spot, I would imagine.
Yeah, I guarantee. I think I get the same spot every year that I've been going. So we'll see each other right a couple spots down from each other.
So. Bring some sandwiches this time. I expect them.
Well, yeah, obviously.
So where's that show at?
Michigan, Monroe, Michigan.
Cool.
It's a good show.
I'm trying to find a good travel show this year. I've done Nashville for the last couple of years because my mom lives out there. So it's, you have a place to stay. You don't have to get a hotel. She had a car I could borrow. So it worked. But now they raised their table fee and got bought out by a different promoter. So it's a lot harder because I still got to pay for the plane tickets and everything else. And now that the table's $600, it makes that a lot more difficult to pull off. Yep. So I need a con that I know I can travel to and actually, no, I don't even think make money. I just don't want to lose money. Like break even when you travel, that's a win.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be at C2E2, but I don't have a table. They denied me a table again. So I'm going to be on a panel, but I'm not going to have a table. So, and I'm also going to try to do Aurora Minicon here locally in September, but that's probably going to be it this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a Backer Kit campaign. Backer Kit has an event right now called Pintopia. where they're promoting campaigns that have to do with lapel pins, and then also bags and stuffies. So since I'm a comic creator, not a pin creator, I decided to just make one pin, and the rest of it is comics. So there's a pin for the Order of Dracula series. In the series, the characters are part of a secret network working with Dracula, and they have an emblem. So I made that into a lapel pin. Mm-hmm. And then we have bundle deals on Order of Dracula and other horror comics. You can get other stuff as add-ons, and it's I think 3 weeks, so it's over. Good thing about these events is that you don't have to push the button yourself to launch it. All launched at the same time as everybody else.
Okay.
It's 3 weeks, ends on the 12th, and there's also I was also a banner group called Creepy Creations that I'm part of. So if you back 3 campaigns out of the 11, you get a free sticker from each campaign.
Cool.
That CPS book, is that you?
That's John Westhoff.
Oh, okay. I have that one.
Yeah. So John and I did some book exchanges. So I have a couple of his books in there. And then so we have some anthologies that I had stories in, that other people had stories in too. All that stuff is in add-ons. But yeah, so the main one is Order of Dracula, which is Paul's a story of Dracula trying to collapse the Ottoman Empire during World War One.
Nice.
And
there's the symbol thing for your pin. I see that.
Yeah. So they have these medallions that have a symbol on them. I made the medallions before, but I decided to make it a pin now. They kind of recognize each other with these. And the interesting part about it is that Dracula doesn't have an ability to control them. So they all have to make separate deals with him, and they are only as loyal as as their goals are being met, and they frequently betray each other, and there's a whole thing about that.
Cool. I'm gonna put that into the private chat, or not the private chat, into the regular chat, so that people can go over there. And how long do you have left on this one?
We have 5 days.
Okay, so we still have 5 days to get in there and back it. So they think you should have a comped table if you're on a panel. All right. And then, he's not happy that they're doing that. So I've been on panels at San Diego Comic-Con, and they waitlisted me for a table this year. So
well, I mean, it's not even that they wouldn't give me a table for free. It's that they would not give me a table at all. I applied and I was ready to pay for it, and they said no. So
and that's I mean, for San Diego, they're you got to be waitlisted, but they kind of deceived when we did. There were some events they said, oh, if you do this, it'll help get you into San Diego. Then they said, oh, never mind, you still got to wait like everybody else.
Good luck.
I mean, I'm not worried about it. I try to make San Diego the con that I go to just for fun, and not need to worry about going to it for, making sales. But I found someone who wanted to split a table. So we were going to do, okay, you do 2 days, you do 2 days. So we can just go and have fun the other days. And then he had done it like 6 years, and he runs 3 or 4 panels there. And even with his name, we got waitlisted. So it's like, go figure. And San Diego's notorious for sending you like the day before the con an email saying, oh, congratulations, we got you a spot now. And so, I mean, the fact that I'm local and I can, if they sent me that on Tuesday night and for the show that starts Wednesday, I can drive home and grab the books and actually do it. So that's the advantage of being local. So I'm just going to have everything ready just in case and hope that they do get me off the wait list. But it's funny because I will be on at least one panel and not getting a table. So they're interesting.
I like doing these short, like kind of local 1-day shows. These are really cool. I did Aurora Minicon in Aurora, Colorado last year. It was, you're there for 6-7 hours and then you're done. And it was, you had to bring your own table, but it was but it was cheap, right? It was a really cheap, and it's at a public library that's run by the city, so it's all a nonprofit. They're not trying to like rip you off or anything, and they give you a bunch of free stuff. So it's it's cool. I like those. I used to do one in Kentucky when I lived in Nashville, in Russellville, Kentucky, and it's run by like a local back issue dealer, and it's like a 1-day con they do every 6 months. Tables are like $30, and it's like you see the same people every and it's free admission. And so you see the same kind of people every 6 months. You go, hey, you got anything new this time? And it's like you kind of build those customers. It's almost like having a shop, you know.
Yeah, those are the best. When they come to your table and they look, they're like, I need that one, that one, that one, and they just they whatever's new on the table, they're guaranteed to buy. And that's why I see the people that aren't doing great. It's because their table has looked the same for 3 years in a row. And if you have nothing new to give those people that enjoyed the book, they come back to you wanting the new things. If you can't give them something new, you're not going to make the money. Because I mean, yeah, you can get new people, but your regulars are the ones, like you said, it's like they're going to a shop. You're their comic shop for the day. They said, okay, I'm 4 issues behind, catch me up. And yeah, those are the best because you don't have to pitch them. You don't have to use car salesmen to get them to do anything. They see you, they know, they buy, they leave. So that's my favorite thing because yeah, it's a lot. You have to, for me, I'm standing, I'm high energy the whole time. And usually I'll wake my row up because they're sitting there and they're sitting in their chairs looking lazy. They see me making all the sales. They're like, shit, I better stand up or this guy's taking everything. And I'm happy to take their sales if they don't want to get up and work for them.
I did a whole series on TikTok about how to be successful at Comic-Cons. So if anybody wants that, they can go find the TikTok and find those videos. And they're like a year old now, but seem to go over pretty well.
Cool. Yeah, I'd have to check those out and I can see if I can add anything to them because I feel like, I mean, once you've done enough, you know what works and you know what doesn't work. You can see the people not making sales and you can see the people that are too aggressive. And that's also a tactic that's going to fail. Because there was a guy, I was right next to a guy who was so aggressive that people were putting their heads down and trying to bolt through my row to not engage with this guy. And I'm like, you motherfucker, you're stealing my sales. Knock that shit off. If they come from one direction, I was going to lose the sale. But if they came up the aisle, I got them first. And then as soon as I got done with them, the guy's like, oh, good. They're potential customers. And he starts his hyper aggressive thing and they just bolt off. So you got to find that sweet spot. And that's the hard thing. And you got to do a few cons before you find the sweet spot because you're going to flounder for a bit. It's inevitable, especially if you're shy. You got to break the shy. But I mean, I tell people I'm a school teacher for 26 years and a marathoner for 20 years. So my feet are trained for standing up and, you know, the pain in the feet, I'll be fine. And then talking loud and getting people's attention, I got to do it all day. And they're going to be easier than getting, 33rd graders to focus on something. So figure I've been training for this my whole life. I'm ready.
Yeah,
there was one show I did when I was in Nashville called Nashville Tattoo and Horror Con. And it was really cool because they had tattoo artists there and people would get new tattoos. And it was in the room next to where the merch was, where all of our artist highlight tables and stuff were. So people would go get a tattoo while they were kind of waiting for their tattoo to kind of stop hurting. They would come over and look at all the tables. So you could tell somebody had a new tattoo because there's cellophane on it. People love to talk about their new tattoos. That's how I get into the table and be like, hey, what's that tattoo? What's the story? And then they come over and talk to me. They don't always buy something, but you get the first, that first foot in the door. And I realize sometimes it works with people who don't even have new tattoos, even old tattoos. Just ask them about it. They like to talk about them.
They want to tell you. And I look for shirts that I can somehow connect to my book because I have a Bauhaus reference in my book. I have a Smashing Pumpkins reference. And then I have a Thursday, the band gave me permission to use some of their lyrics in the book. But Thursday connects with My Chemical Romance. So I see a My Chemical Romance shirt. And I go, hey, you want to hear this crazy way that my book's connected to My Chemical Romance? And I go through, okay, Jeff Rickley, he's the singer of Thursday. He produced the first My Chemical Romance album. And then he gave me this quote on the back of the book. and they're like, they want to pretend that they know what I'm talking about. They're like, oh damn, he knows more than I bought this shit at Target, leave me alone. And they're gonna engage, and most of the time they'll buy that one, like, oh, I want to buy that one that's connected with My Chemical Romance. So they don't seem to be a poser, and I make the sale. So yeah, the shirt connection always works for me when you have it. And then tattoos would be a good one too. And there's a tattoo shop that's right next to one of the little local street cons that I've done. And I told them, here's copies of issue 1 of all my books. Put them on your table so that the people waiting in the waiting room can read this instead of magazines. And sure enough, they'd read them and like, oh yeah, I read that at the tattoo shop. I need to get the next issue. So yeah, the tattoo shop connection, I did that as well.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
Yeah, it's not bad. Good idea.
Throw away a couple table copies, but every year, because it used to be an annual thing, and it was always out there on the streets, and one of the tattoo shop was right there, and then the people would know the book from there. So yeah, do whatever you can to make sales. That's all we can do. All right, so Devin, I'm going to pull up your book, and I'm going to move you to the top 2 so you don't get shrunk down there. So tell us a little bit about this book.
So Summit Pinnacle #1 is the beginning of our new venture, Summit Comics. So there's like 20 plus stories, or a dozen stories of 20 plus creators, I should say.
Okay.
So this is like the introduction. You see a couple pages here. One on the left is me. That's Trench by myself and Nico Arcuti, who is a great Italian artist. Love it. The next one over is one of our stories from our like headliner hero, I want to say she is, Juna Maris, done by Adam Barnhart and Marcus Jimenez. But
nice.
We wanted something fresh, something new, something that was not steeped in like a billion years worth of shit you got to go read. Hey, I don't want to go to the comic book shop and grab like issue number 300 and blah, blah, blah of this book. You can start fresh here. This was created through a lot of passion, a lot of time, a lot of effort. But, in my opinion, there's a book for everybody, and there's a story for everybody within the Summit universe.
Yes.
So, if you like superheroes, you can get your standard superheroes. If you like darker characters, you get darker characters. If you like your aliens and gods and all that stuff, you get some of everything here. Nice. Everybody that backs gets to be an inaugural member, so they get a cool little sticker. We just saw this actually right here. Yep, there we go. The founding member sticker. So you'll get that when you back it. You'll get it like a little message. You can do whatever you want with that. We've unlocked pretty much a bunch of stretch goals. You see this cool superhero trading card of Juna Maris right there, done by Marcus Jimenez. Great card. Trying to figure out more cool stuff like that. More cover galleries, new stories. We give digital backers, or backers in general, cool backer awards at every 50 backers. So 50, 100, 150, so on and so forth. We got 6 unlocked right now. Love to get more unlocked. I think we'll actually be unlocking, should have already unlocked 1 right here, Night Wrath. And we got like 2 more to unlock, and then we should be good for that.
Nice.
But yeah, this is something, fresh, nothing, steeped, like I said, in too much continuity issues. You got a lot of great stuff done by, like I said, a lot of great creators, all for an affordable price. Got 4 different covers, one of which is by Phil Hester. Everybody should know Phil at some point in their creative stage. If you don't, he did what was it, the Longbow Hunters, Green Arrow stuff in the 90s. He did Gotham Year One or whatever in recent years, and some other cool books. So soft cover A and B, then hard covers A and B. So you can pick one or the other. You can get them all. Prefer if you get them all, because that helps us create more books. But they're just all great books. Great covers on these books.
Yeah, they look great. I mean, it looks. The thing I think with indie comics, the best indie comics could sit on the shelf at any comic shop and no one would know they're indie. And these covers, that's what they look like. You put them next to Image, you put them next to Marvel, and they're gonna fit in there.
Absolutely.
And hopefully people grab them, because that's the key. Is making it look as professional as the professionals, and you know what, outdoing them story-wise, because we've already talked about the garbage stories that they're popping out right now, and this is fresh, this is new, it's a whole bunch of creators. I backed it early. I'm not signed in right now, but yeah, I definitely, as soon as I heard about it, I backed this one because I'm always looking to read the fresh new stuff. I mean, I just finished my second long box of only Kickstarter books, so I'm definitely a big supporter of the indies, and this one looks like it's going to be top-notch stuff.
Absolutely. Like I said, we do put a lot of, time and effort into these projects. So, we want to make sure that we're giving everybody something that they truly can grow with and enjoy.
Yes. Yeah, it sucks that it's so expensive to get a book into Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
Because I've talked about that, because this would be the perfect book for a Free Comic Book Day. It's just, it would cost you a small fortune to get it. But man, if you could put this in Free Comic Book Day, you could get people really hyped and, sell more, but they don't make it easy. They make it to where only the big guns can actually afford it.
Oh, I'm sure. It's a bit, Free Comic Book Day is a huge thing for, shops and just readers as well. But I think before long, might not be this year, might not be next year, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think it will. And I know right now for Free Comic Book Day, it's about $20,000 to get your book into Free Comic Book Day. And it's just the indie creators, that's more than they can afford. So it's sad, but hopefully they find a way to bring the price down, because you're not going to make anything. You send your book and then give it for free. So the profits only come if you can actually hook people in. So hopefully, like you said, in a few years, we see kind of a shift in that, and it's not just catering to the elite. All right, so I'm looking at the art. It is beautiful. I know a lot of those creators, so they are all top creators as well. So yeah, there's good stuff going on here. Just kind of scroll through all these so people can check out your art and the imagery. And there you go. I will put this into the chat.
Hopefully everybody enjoys it as much as we would put it together. It's a lot. It's a lot of good stuff going on here. So,
all right. So a couple questions, because I couldn't see questions. So My Chemical Romance is the Umbrella Academy guy. That is correct. And how many pages is each story? There's a good question.
So most stories are between 6 and 8 pages per story. We want to just make sure everybody got a chance to kind of introduce their character, give you something. I think there's a couple that might be a little longer. I actually have to look at that, but overall it's between 6 and 8 pages. We wanted this to be the introduction before everybody decided to, figure out who's going next. So we have Travis's Upheaval. That's going to have a campaign that I think we're promoting now, or Granite from CJ Hudson that launches Tuesday on top of this. So we're trying to push the extended versions while also having an opportunity to show you a little bit of what they're about here already. And if you want to, get primed and not worry about the, getting a character you don't have to back everything. Everything kind of fits where it needs to fit, and then go and read whoever you're interested in.
Yeah, I guess it's like a sampler. You find out the ones you love, and you buy more. And if there's one that doesn't resonate with you, well, you got it in a little snippet, and all right, that one's not for me. Maybe it's too mystical, or maybe it's not mystical enough. This one is the superhero. This is a superhero I love. I want more. Back them. And you get, it's nice to get kind of everything in one shot, and then you can move out from that direction once you're done. So yeah, exactly. I love these kind of anthologies. And I also, I hate to promote them this way, but they're beautiful bathroom reading, because they're little 6 to 8 page stories. they're quick and easy. Or if you don't want to commit to a whole book, you just want to read a quick little story sitting on the couch because you're busy, while the food's warming up on the stove, you can read a quick story and then go in there and buy more later if you want. So yeah, I love anthologies. They are something I've always been a huge fan of, kind of starting growing up with Tales from the Crypt, how all those stories are kind of quick, short little stories. You can read them quick and they have a nice resolution. And these ones are building a universe. And I love that. You're building your own universe. We know how you're going to sound, what the soundtrack's going to sound like now. So yes, it's good stuff. All right. So we have promoted all our stuff. Please get out there and back these campaigns. When it comes to indie, anything helps. If you don't have the money to buy a soft cover, a hardcover, or even a digital copy, throw $1 at them to just say that I support you, but right now times are tough. Every single penny we earn is highly appreciated, and we don't look down at any of them. So don't think, oh, I can only give $1. I don't think they'll like that. We love it all because your support is the only reason we're here creating these books right now. All right.
Or nudes. Send nudes.
Yeah, well, send those to Josh.
Yeah, fine. I'm single.
Josh gets the nudes. I'm married. You've already tried to divorce me from my wife for an Xbox. So leave those nudes out of my inbox.
Yeah.
I will delete them. Actually, no, I will forward them to Josh so he can give his seal of approval.
Yeah.
For me, yeah, all nudes will be forwarded to Josh. And if my wife is watching, I did not ask for nudes. So there we go. All right. So Devin, tell people where they can find you on social media.
So I'm on Blue Sky. You can just search my name up, Devin R. Scott, because Blue Sky is a funny little thread thing. Also on Instagram and Twitter at CBDevin95. I'm usually there more or less, not as active, but I'm there. So, you might see me posting about a separate Kickstarter from this summit one as well. I have a Norse mythology book up right now. So check that out if you want to. I got a newsletter you can subscribe to on Substack as well. See if I can throw that link up real quick.
Yeah, you throw the link, I'll put it up in the chat. But yeah, definitely give a follow. That's another free way you can, if you don't have any money, follow, share this campaign, put it on your wall, let people know it's out there, because your eyes, your fans, their new eyes to find this book. So yeah, just share away, hit that share button. It costs you nothing, and we appreciate any support we get. So, and Josh, where can we find you, and where can they send the nudes?
Well, so my address, but no, I mean, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok's probably the best place, right?
Oh, I think he's frozen.
Oop, there we go. Sorry, I was trying to look stuff up.
Okay. Yeah, I think Josh froze on us. So he's there. So I'm going to throw your Substack up. So we're going to put Devin's Substack. And in the meantime, all right, his inbox must have been so flooded with nudes that it broke his internet. All right. So Joseph, where can we find you at on the social media?
I have a Blue Sky Heresy Studios LLC. I have a Instagram, Heresy Studios LLC Comics. I have the Backer Kick campaign right now. I'm also launching a Kickstarter for a new comic, Call for Heresies #2, which is color-themed horror anthology. We have horror stories based on themed on the colors of green, blue, indigo, and violet. And that launches on March 3rd. And the URL is callforheresies.com to sign up for notifications for that.
Nice. All right, so definitely check all those out. All the links are in the chat, so get over there. Definitely back these great projects. How long does yours still have on it, Devin?
We should still have like at least 22 days, 21 days, something like that.
Okay, so you're doing it. Was it a 30-day campaign?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Hold on. What is going on? My internet's all wrecked right now. Okay, that was weird. I got some weird bird on my screens.
Hey.
All right, Josh, you made it back.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard?
I don't remember. I think it was
Send nudes.
Send nudes, Instagram, Twitter. So,
yeah, TikTok's probably, I'm having the most success on TikTok right now, trying to get things out, you know. But we'll see how that goes since they have a new owner. We'll see if that continues. But
okay. And see,
all the places.
Yes, go on, and you, as he talked about earlier, you can go to his TikTok and find his How to Succeed at Con series, because there's a lot of good tricks. And if you're new to going to cons, definitely watch it, get some help. If you're old, maybe you learn some new tricks.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm not the most successful, but I've been pretty successful at it. I'm always happy to answer questions for anybody I can. So
awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for coming on. Appreciate having you. And we will be back next week for our Valentine's Day special. And it'll be all Valentine's themed questions. So come in, bring your worst pickup lines, and let's have some fun next week. And then no Wednesday show this week. So until next week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Saturday.
If you missed the live viewing of any Meg production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. Madness Entertainment Group.